Hello everyone, I'm your host Todd C. Slater and welcome to Equity Builders Realty TV right here on Rogers Television. So joining me this week we have Mr. Ash Singh, and he is president of Equity Builders. And Ash, thanks for coming and joining us this week.
Thank you, Todd, and thank you all out there.
So you know what, folks, we're doing an on-the-site location shoot this week. In fact, we are here in one of Equity Builders' buildings that they are currently working on. So Ash, I know we've got some great things that we're going to be showing our viewers this week.
Yes, Todd, if you recall, this was the building that everybody thought I was crazy to buy, and we're going to show you today all the improvements that we've made in such a short little time.
Okay, so folks, that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking a look at this building.
Coming up later in the show, we take a tour of a Mississauga Central diamond in the rough. This amazing transformation in Mississauga.
Welcome back. Now we're going to take a tour of Equity Builders' new project located on here, Ontario. Okay, so Ash, you know what? I'm going to have to defer to you on a lot of things in this particular building because, you know, when I first saw it, I have to tell you, I think I questioned you on the last show saying, Ash, what are you thinking? But, you know, there's been some incredible changes. So let's talk about, first of all, your first vision when you saw this building.
You know, Todd, again, when we talk about structurally sound, the building, here we had a situation where we bought a building where most people drove by it and said, no, this is not for me. Here I saw an opportunity. The location's fabulous, right on Highway 10 by Queensway Hospital, close to the bus routes, close to Square One. That was all good. So what were the problems? The problems were, was it structurally sound or were they cosmetic problems? Here we saw cosmetic problems. We had an engineer certify the building to be structurally worthy. We had to do some structural stuff, if you want to call it, maybe windows and roof were the two main components. But that wasn't that bad.
So let's not jump too far ahead, because let's take each specific thing that has happened. First of all, when we saw a picture of the first unit, I got to tell you, there's no way I'd let my dog live in there. But now, you know, when we take a look at the units, there's been a huge...
But now you'd let your wife live in it.
Well, of course, you know, and that's the thing. We have to take a look at it and say, okay, what did you do here that was so impressive? I mean, it's not just smoke and mirrors. It obviously looks like you took your time and you made a big change to each unit.
Well, you had to start right from the beginning, Todd. We had to strip the building to its bare bones. So what we mean by that, we started with the kitchens. We had to rip out everything in the kitchen, including the electrical panel. We had to put in new sinks, new faucets, new fridge, new stove, and of course, cabinets and countertops. A new floor, so it's gutted right to back to brand new.
So now kitchens, of course, is one of the most important rooms in any property. We know that. That's normally the money maker for a lot of people, a nice kitchen. And of course, this looks like a fabulous kitchen, especially in a nice, you know, one bedroom or two bedroom unit. Now, you also touched on one thing, and I thought this was interesting, was that you ripped out your electrical panels, and now you've got new electrical panels with breakers as opposed to fuses. Again, is this also for a safety reason?
Number one, not really from a safety feature, Todd. The original ones were fine. Here we were updating to current standards. If we're going to go to the expense of changing a kitchen and washrooms and faucets, why not do the panel? For an extra $500 or $600 that it costs to do in the grand scheme of what we were trying to achieve, it was money well spent. And that's why we always say to investors, make sure you cover all the important details.
Okay, now when we talk about the cabinetries, you know, it looks like you made some great color selections as well. You know, nice flooring in the kitchens, of course, some really nice tile, and of course, taking a look at your actual counters, you know, great coloring here as well, the cabinets themselves.
You know, Todd, for us at Equity Builders, we hired an interior decorator the first time we did a project, and we used the same color concept throughout. So it's really cheap for us to produce the same product over and over again. We always make the same kitchen, the same handle, the same countertop, because it's neutral. It's neutral decor that most people will adapt to. Nothing crazy, just simple for most people to walk in and say, nice, clean, fresh look.
Now, one of the things I noticed is that you went with a really nice laminate floor through your main areas, your dining and living area, of course, and, you know, some nice white baseboards to show it off. Again, it looks like the decor, you know, you thought it out. So again, what was your thinking when you did it?
Again, here I got to tell you, Todd, I hire the professionals. The decorators got to take, you know, the gravy on this one. We hired the right people to put them in play. And again, you know, this is where a lot of investors try to do things themselves and they make a mess. Hire the professionals that are good at what they do. You know, for us to get, and it was cost effective because we were going to do 45 units. So if we make 3 color schemes for 45 units, there's 15 a piece of each style unit. It's very cost effective.
Okay, now also you replace the windows, and with all the new units, I notice you've got new windows already, and of course that's what you're going to be doing for the rest of the building for every unit. But again, you know, they're nice and bright, they're safe windows, you know, they're going to definitely keep the heating costs down. You know, was that your plan when you first?
Well, that was the key fact of the windows, was utility costs. Remember, utility costs is one of the biggest costs today over and above your mortgage. So you want to be able to make sure that your cost of living also goes down. That's something that we're going green as everybody else is, and to make it look cost effective for everybody out there.
Now, you know, as an investor, if I was to buy one of these units, of course I'm going to be concerned about the maintenance fee, and I have to tell you, you've just put my mind at ease replacing the windows, because I know that the heating costs, which are typically included in all maintenance fees, it allows me to keep my actual costs down.
Again, Todd, you know, the 2 main components is roof and windows. Roof also, if you have a leaking roof or you have patches in the roof, you're also losing a lot of hot air. Where does heat rise? It rises to the roof. So you want to make sure it's well insulated. And again, utility costs make up probably 1/3 of a condominium budget. So where do you really want to concentrate on? Keeping utilities down.
Okay, now why don't we move forward and take a look, for instance, for the bathrooms. You know, huge difference there, of course. Looking at new tiles, new vanities, new toilets. You know, you've refurbed the tubs. You know, what a great looking 4-piece bathroom now.
Again, Todd, you know, some might look at it and say, why didn't we rip out the tub? It's a cast iron tub. Today, you're lucky to get an enamel tub or a plastic tub. You can't beat the cast iron tub. They're indestructible. So what we did is we said we're going to just recoat it and change the color of it to what's again in the marketplace today, generally white. But if you see, we did the toilets, we did the sink vanity style unit, we did a whole new tub surround with new faucets and fixtures, new exhaust fan as well. Everything else is brand new.
Yeah, and again, you know, even though we're dealing with a much older building, again, each unit itself looks like it is much newer. And again, of course, you've carried the nice flooring right into the bedroom. You know, if it's a 1-bedroom or both bedrooms, of course, being a 2-bedroom. And again, you've gone with the Series 800 doors, so you've updated doors. The frames look great. You know, Ash, this does not look like an older building.
Again, Todd, that's what we saw, and that was the upside for equity builders. We looked at it and we said, you know, even if we don't ever even sell these units to the public, we were able to raise the rent on this specific unit by $250. The original rent was $625. Today we're getting $875. That's almost a 1/3 increase in revenue.
When we come back, we're going to do our critique on the property located here in Ontario. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Equity Builders Realty TV, and I'm your host Todd C. Slater, joined by Ash Singh from Equity Builders. And Ash, you know, we just finished a tour of one of your projects located here in Ontario, and again, you know, it's pretty hard to actually criticize some of your own work, and I know, so we're going to have to stretch a little on this one. So Ash, I have to tell you though, what an incredible transformation from just a few weeks ago with some of the tour that we saw.
Well, thank you, Todd, and like you said, it's hard for me to be biased about my own building. I mean, Equity Builders thinks they did a great job. In a short period of time, we've changed the whole look and feel of the unit. We have to carry that flow through the entire building and get that feel throughout, and that's what we're going to work towards over the next 6 months.
Okay, so Ash, let's stay away from the building just for a second. Let's go back to the philosophy of Equity Builders. Now, folks, when you're looking at being an investor, sometimes you're going to want to manage your own properties and perhaps even buy one that you're going to inhabit for your own business. But Ash, in this situation, we're looking at you setting up something so people can pretty much invest in a property and do not have any management of themselves.
Todd, that's the Equity Builders concept. Those that want to invest in real estate but don't want to take the risk themselves or may not have the knowledge to do it themselves, they invest with Equity Builders to come along for the ride with us and show the returns. And, you know, to date, Todd, we don't really miss. You know, we take on properties that have great potential that others don't see, and that, you know, there's money to be made long term.
Okay, great. So folks, remember what we've seen up till date right now, especially in a building like this, you may not have to manage your investment. It's not quite like a stockbroker, it's actually property management, but your investment is protected. So that's pretty much the tour for this particular property.